Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Gaur Pimanande. Jaya Vishnupada Paramahamsa. Privrajgacharya Stotra Satya Sri Srimad, His Divine Grace. Srila Bhai Charanaravind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Skand Vibhiti Founder Acharyas Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Namasarya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Vrantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Dainitai Gaura Pimanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Taksuran Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanditam Scha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusuti Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vansakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Dharam Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, let us first offer our respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayasya badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, it becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahmasamitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nisreyasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swasya Namahat. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Sarabhyaya Namaha. Om Sarabhyaya Namaha. Om Sarabhyaya Namaha. Mukam karoti vasaram pangom langayate girim yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to our morning discourse on Srimad Bhagavatam. We are continuing from Canto number 2, Chapter 1, entitled The First Step in God Realization. And today is text number 8. Yes. Oh. Famous verse?
Yes.
Yes. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samitam Aditavam Dvaparadao Pitur Dvaipayanad Aham Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samitam Aditavam Dvaparadao Pitur Dvaipayanad Aham Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samitam Adhitavan Dvaparadao Pitur Dvaipayanad Aham Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samitam Adhitavan Dvaparadao Pitur Dvaipayanad Aham
Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Adhitavan Dvaparado Pitur Dvaipayanadaham Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Adhitavan Dvaparado Pitur Dvaipayanadaham Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Adhitavan Dvaiparado Pitur Dvaipayanadaham Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Adhitavan Dvaparado Pitur Dvaipayanadaham Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Adhitavan Dvaparado Pitur Dvaipayanadaham Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Adhitavan Pitur Dvaipayanadaham Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Adhitavan Dvaparado Pitur Dvaipayanadaham Mataji Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Adhitavan Dvaparado Pitur Dvaipayanadaham Idam this Bhagavatam Srimad Bhagavatam Nama of the name Puranam Vedic supplement Brahma Samhitam approved as the essence of the Vedas. Adhitavan studied Dvapara Adao at the end of the Dvapara Yuga. Pituhu from my father Dvaipayana Vyasadeva. Aham, myself. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki.
At the end of the Dwapara Yuga, I studied this great supplement of Vedic literature named the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is equal to all the Vedas, from my father, Srila Dvaipayana Vyasadeva. Kindly repeat after me. At the end of the Dwapara Yuga, I studied this great supplement of Vedic literature named the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is equal to all the Vedas, from my father, Srila Dvaipayana Vyasadeva. Purport. The statement made by Srila Shukadeva Goswami that the topmost transcendentalist, who is beyond the jurisdiction of regulations and restrictions, mainly takes to the task of hearing about and glorifying the personality of Godhead, is verified by his personal example. Shukadeva Goswami, being a recognized liberated soul and the topmost transcendentalist, was accepted by all of the topmost sages present in the meeting and during the last 7 days of Maharaj Parikshit. He cites from the example of his life that he himself was attracted by the transcendental activities of the Lord, and he studied Srimad Bhagavatam from his great father, Sri Dvaipayana Vyasadeva. Srimad Bhagavatam, or for that matter, any other scientific literature, cannot be studied at home by one's own intellectual capacity. Medical books of anatomy or physiology are available in the market, but no one can become a qualified medical practitioner simply by reading such books at home. One has to be admitted to the medical college and study the books under the guidance of learned professors. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam, the postgraduate study of the science of Godhead, can only be learned by studying it at the feet of a realized soul like Srila Vyasadeva. Although Shukadeva Goswami was a liberated soul from the very day of his birth, he still had to take lessons of Srimad Bhagavatam from his great father, Vyasadeva, who compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam under the instruction of another great soul, Sri Narada Muni. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed a learned Brahmana to study Srimad Bhagavatam from a personal Bhagavata. Means a person Bhagavata. Srimad Bhagavatam is based on the transcendental name, form, attributes, pastimes, entourage, and variegatedness of the Supreme Person. And it is spoken by the incarnation of the personality of Godhead, Srila Vyasadeva. Pastimes of the Lord are executed in cooperation with his pure devotees, and consequently historical incidences are mentioned in this great literature because they are related to Krishna. It is called Brahma Samhitam because it is the sound representative, because it is a sound representative of Lord Krishna, like the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a sound incarnation of the Lord because it is spoken by the Supreme Lord. And Srimad Bhagavatam is the sound representative of the Lord because it was spoken by the incarnation of the Lord about the activities of the Lord. As stated in the beginning of this book, it is the essence of the Vedic desire tree and the natural commentation on the Brahma Sutras, the topmost philosophical thesis on the subject matter of Brahman. Vyasadeva appeared at the end of Dwapara Yuga as the son of Satyavati. And therefore the word Dwapara Adau, or the beginning of Dwapara Yuga, in this context means just prior to the beginning of the Kali Yuga. The logic of this statement, according to Srila Jiva Goswami, is comparable to that of calling the upper portion of the tree the beginning. The root of the tree is the beginning of the tree, but in common knowledge, the upper portion of the tree is seen first. In that way, the end of the tree is accepted as its beginning. Translation again. At the end of the Dwapara Yuga, I studied this great supplement of Vedic literature named the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is equal to all the Vedas, from my father, Srila Dvaipayana Vyasadeva. So this is Shukadeva Goswami continuing to, he's just beginning actually, to answer the various questions that have been presented to him by Parikshit Maharaj. It's a little similar to what in the 7th canto of the Bhagavatam, Srila Narada Muni, after being asked by Yudhishthira Maharaj, Narada Muni was visiting Yudhishthira Maharaj, who in a similar kind of mood requested Narada Muni to speak on the subject matter of dharma, and specifically on the subject matter of varnashrama dharma. The whole last portion, last 5 chapters of the 7th canto deal with varnashrama dharma. And in the very beginning, very similar to what is being conveyed here, Narada Muni mentions, yes, I will speak on the subject matter of dharma, and I will speak as I have heard from previous authorities. So here, Shukadeva Goswami is telling the same, that I studied from my own father, Srila Vyasadeva, this great literature, which is here being referred to as equal to all of the Vedas. Of course, we know this is further explained in detail in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself. It is again taken up by one of the 6 Goswamis, Srila Jiva Goswami, who is recognized, was recognized at that time and still is recognized as the greatest philosopher, in presenting the Satsandarbhas. Satsandarbhas are dealing with the subject matter of tattva. Tattva. Tattva means what is the absolute truth. So in the Satsandarbhas, beginning with the first of the Satsandarbhas is called Tattva Sandarbha. Tattva Sandarbha is establishing Vedic knowledge as the topmost knowledge because it is spoken directly by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to Lord Brahma, the beginning of every creation. When Lord Brahma performs austerity, tapasya, then the Lord from within the heart speaks the Vedas, reveals the Vedic knowledge. And what is very special in this Tattva Sandarbha, that's why it's so important, of Srila Jiva Goswami, he establishes that actually the Srimad Bhagavatam, not only is it equal to all the Vedas, but actually the Srimad Bhagavatam as revealed, as spoken by Srila Vyasadeva, is even greater than the Vedas. Because Srila Vyasadeva, he is incarnation. He is known as the literary incarnation of Godhead. And because in the original Vedas, there's a lot of information which is concealed. Not so, well, first of all, the original Vedas are also not even available. Majority, actually 90% of the original Vedas, as put in writing by Srila Vyasadeva 5,000 years ago, along with various assistants, other saintly persons who helped Srila Vyasadeva compile the Vedic literatures or to put them in writing. Most of those are actually but fortunately for all of us, actually the essence of that knowledge has been preserved or is being preserved within the pages of the Srimad. And that's why the Srimad Bhagavatam is recognized and accepted in our lineage, in our Guru Parampara, as being the topmost of all transcendental knowledge. It is known as the Amala Puranam. Amala means pure. Purest of all literatures is actually the Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why when we look in our Guru Parampara, all of the major Vaishnavacharyas have come, and our own founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, his whole mission was to actually translate the Bhagavatam so that the whole world actually can have access to this topmost knowledge, topmost literature. And that is what is actually taking place right now. It is the beginning of the, we're still at the beginning of the movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is primarily meant to give access, isn't it? To give access to people throughout the entire world, even though the majority of people in Kali Yuga are totally unqualified. That is the special mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the special mercy of those great Vaishnava Acharyas who understand the potency of the Srimad Bhagavatam we chant every day. It is it is meant to conquer over, actually, at least for a certain period of time, the influence, the very heavy influence of Kali Yuga. And it is described here in the purport. This particular line is under italics, means it is very important. Srimad Bhagavatam, the postgraduate study of the science of Godhead. Postgraduate study. And so the point is being made here by Shukadeva Goswami is that this knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam needs to be received in Guru Parampara. The same, of course, for the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and that is why Srila Prabhupada gave that end description as it is. Bhagavad Gita as it is. Srimad Bhagavatam as it is. It needs to be received as it was spoken, as it was intended, ultimately by the original speaker. So, Parikshit Maharaj is fortunate to receive this knowledge of the Srimad Bhagavatam from a personality who heard it directly from an authorized personality, means Srila Vyasadeva, who is, as we mentioned earlier, as it is described in the Bhagavatam itself, the literary incarnation of Godhead. So that means that when we hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, when we make the knowledge of the Srimad Bhagavatam available, then we're making available actually all the knowledge of the Vedas, the essence of the Vedas. And it has the potency of that's nicely explained actually in the in the first canto. In the first canto, the introduction, Prabhupada speaks how this Srimad Bhagavatam should be introduced in all the colleges and universities, because actually that is meant to be. We don't understand this sufficiently. That is meant to be from where we set up or prepare the curriculum. Curriculum actually should be, that's why that's why something very important that is still not understood, of course, by general people. Both Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, actually all of the Vedic literatures, they are meant to be, they are actually standard books of knowledge. They're not just for the Hindus. They're not just for Hare Krishna people. They're not just for people who are from India. They're actually standard books of knowledge. And that's why, I think it was last year, in one of the states, some of you may know, may have heard, one of the states here in India, maybe Madhya Pradesh, I'm not sure, the chief minister declared, you know, in our state now, this Bhagavad Gita will be taught in all the schools.
Odisha also it is started.
Huh?
Odisha also it is started.
In Orissa, eh? Well, Orissa is the land of Jagannath. So it's natural that in the land of Lord Jagannath, Bhagavad Gita knowledge, yeah. No one should actually object that such kind of books are taught to people of all denominations, you see. In other words, Bhagavad Gita is also for the Christians. Bhagavad Gita is described as the most advanced book on psychology. If somebody has psychological problems, he should read Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, because we understand when we are introduced to the subject matter of tattva, I mean complete tattva. Tattva is what tattvadarshinaha, isn't it? Krishna speaks about tattva. We find the word tattva everywhere. Vedanti tattvavidam tattvam yas jnanamadvayam brahmiti paramatmiti bhagavaniti sabjate. Tattva. Bhagavad Gita speaks of tattva. Srimad Bhagavatam, the whole Vedic knowledge is about tattva. Our acharyas have spoken, have presented this subject matter perfectly, beginning with Srila Jiva Goswami, as we mentioned. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we were speaking about the other day of his Dasamula Tattva. Tattva. Tattva is summarized in 10 basic levels. And the Tattva, see, everything is very, very nicely presented, very scientific. The Tattvas are divided in terms of Sambandha Gyan, Abhideya Gyan, and Prayojana Gyan. This concept of Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana is very nicely explained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The whole philosophy of Krishna consciousness is contained in these three things: Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. And when we understand the basic nature or definition of these three terms, we can mold our lives around that, actually. Sambandha has to do with identity. Just like before we started attending Bhagavatam classes, I mean before being devotees, most of us before being devotees, at least in the Western countries, never even heard about Srimad Bhagavatam, never heard even about Bhagavad Gita. It's understandable that we don't hear about Srimad Bhagavatam because it's postgraduate study. But even Bhagavad Gita is unknown still, probably to the vast majority of people in the world today. So, these standard books of knowledge are meant to at least give basic preliminary information, but not only that, they actually bring us to the highest level of transcendental realization, which is described in the later pages of the Srimad Bhagavatam, means in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, isn't it? In the Dasamula Tattva, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he describes in relation to Sambandha Gyan. It's very interesting actually how of the three levels of Gyan, Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana, the first one is given more attention because it's the most difficult one. And all of us on a daily basis are struggling with that one, Sambandha. Especially in Kali Yuga, the age of quarrel. People, because they are lacking, they don't have this basic knowledge of Sambandha, therefore our egos are constantly clashing. Individuals are clashing with one another, communities are clashing with one another, and now we don't read newspaper headlines, but we hear about the clashing that is going on all over the world between one nation and another, more so than ever before, practically speaking. So this is like preliminary, that is the beauty of the Srimad Bhagavatam, not only giving us preliminary basic understanding, but actually bringing us to the topmost topmost level of transcendence, topmost level of self-realization. But it needs to be received from, this is being mentioned here, authorized personalities coming in Guru Parampara. So we have that great fortune to be connected in this way and to receive this same message that Shukadeva Goswami heard from Srila Vyasadeva, the same message that Parikshit Maharaj is receiving from Shukadeva Goswami, and it goes down. So, Sambandha, unless we master Sambandha Gyan, then our activities will not be successful, because they are the success of our activities, whatever they may be, are completely dependent on this whole aspect of Sambandha. So Sambandha has to do with, especially as nicely presented by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur as well as Srila Jiva Goswami, in relation to, first, to Krishna. That is also one of the tattvas in the Bhagavad Gita. Ishvara. Ishvara means Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna. There are three aspects in terms of tattva relating to Krishna, dealing with Sambandha, and there are four aspects for the jiva. Means we need to understand clearly, fully, what is the nature of the jiva, of the Atma. And simultaneously we also need to understand the nature of Paramatma, or of Ishvara. So, because there's an intimate relationship, that is what we are missing. We are suffering, and we are in anxiety because we are missing not understanding this relationship actually between the jiva, the atma, and the paramatma, or the soul and the super soul. So what are the three? Each one of them actually is very deep subject matter. Each one of the tattvas in itself is a deep subject matter. Just like, what is the first tattva described by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur? In describing the absolute truth. The first one actually, the first tattva in relation to Krishna is Param Tattva. To know about tattva is important, but we need to know, okay, well, what is the highest truth? What is the highest expression? And of course, he quotes different verses, and the one we mentioned a little earlier from the Bhagavatam, this the verse that speaks about tattva, one particular verse, this Vedanti tattva vidam tattvam yajgyan advayam brahmiti paramatmiti. So the tattva, the param tattva is must culminates in Bhagavan. Bhagavan. Beginning level is Aham Brahmasmi, I'm spirit in nature. Then the localized aspect, Paramatma. Paramatma, that is one of the Sandarbhas also. Paramatma Sandarbha. So the first of the tattvas explaining Krishna is or explaining God, explaining the nature of Godhead is in these three levels, and it needs to culminate or culminates into Param Tattva. The second one is in reference to well, all three of them in relation to God or in relation to Krishna. That Krishna, he is Shakti, Shaktiman. Shaktiman means, who knows Sanskrit? He is the source of all energies, isn't it? We must know the different energies. They are described, three main energies, spiritual energy, material energy, the Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, and Tatastha Shakti. Most people don't know these things. So this is describing Krishna. He is the source of all of these energies. Aham sarvasya prabhavu matas sarvam pravartati. Iti madva bhajanti mam. Those who actually, only those who know the workings of Krishna's energy, both material energies, spiritual energies, can actually come to worship Krishna. So, Godhead is described or known as Param Tattva. He is known as Shaktiman, and he is known as also the third aspect of Godhead is that he is Rasa Samudra, ocean of transcendental mellows. This is very unique actually in our parampara, in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. It's a major topic. If we don't know the science. If we only know the science of material rasa, then we will remain conditioned. The material rasa, actually, there is rasa on the material level, but it is binding. It is keeping us actually in darkness. Only when we are introduced to the spiritual science of rasa, which is especially experienced and can be understood by the activities and the pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan. Vrindavan is so important because the tattvas are all fully manifest actually in Vrindavan, the pastimes of Vrindavan. So these are the three tattvas that are describing Godhead. Godhead means Krishna. And then there are four tattvas that describe the jiva. The first one is in the Bhagavad Gita. Mamaye vangsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana amsha. The jiva is amsha, eternally amsha, eternally part and parcel. The jiva cannot become Ishvara. The jiva is always prakriti. That's another tattva in the Bhagavad Gita. The Ishvara, jiva, then prakriti. Prakriti. Two levels of prakriti. The jiva is also prakriti. Means dependent. Material nature is dependent. So that's the first quality or the first aspect of the jiva. Amsha, then he has a choice of being either conditioned or liberated. So we say Nityamukta. The jiva is either in one of these two categories. Either Nityamukta, the jivas, living entities in the spiritual world, they are in the category of Nityamukta, eternally liberated souls. And those who are in the material world, they are Nityabadha, conditioned by the modes of material nature. But those living entities in the material world, all of us, can go from being Nitya Baddha to also become liberated by the process or the knowledge given in the Bhagavatam, which is of course the process of bhakti, of devotional service. So that's the second and third aspect of the jiva, and the fourth one is the jiva is described as Veda Aveda, isn't it? We are in quality the same as Krishna, but in quantity we are different. The example of the classic example of the sun ray, the rays of the sun, they're also having the same quality of the sunshine or as the sun itself, but they are very minute, but having the same quality. So these are the, it's only when we study and understand the subject matter of tattva. Bhagavatam is that literature that is fulfilling. Fulfilling means it is giving us fully what we are, what we have become separated from by having disconnected ourselves in terms of our relationship with Krishna. We have become under the stringent laws of material nature, and therefore that is the unfortunate condition or position of all the Baddha Jeev. So Bhagavatam knowledge, which is elaborated also in other writings of the Goswamis, in particular the science of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. These are all literatures. So many literatures are there to bring us out of our conditional stage. So this is the verse I'm reading again. At the end of the Dwapara Yuga, I studied, this is Shukadeva Goswami speaking, I studied this great supplement of Vedic literature named the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is equal to all the Vedas from my father, Srila Dvaipayana Vyasadeva. I was mentioning how just a few days back when I was attending one satsanga, Prabhupada disciples who meet once a year on the last day of Kartik. So one devotee was mentioning how, because he was a book distributor many years, and he had the good habit of keeping contact, that's one of the good methods of a book distributor when he meets somebody who's showing some interest, or even anyone who receives a book. And some of these people who have received books that this devotee, particular devotee, distributed to, some of them would occasionally call him, that I had this book actually that you gave me for a long time, and after 5 years I opened the book. I didn't realize what was in this book. There's so many Sankirtan stories like that.
Time bomb.
Yeah, they're time bombs. One book distributor was in a parking lot. There are many places the bodies would find to distribute. And there was one person in the car. He was alone. And he didn't want to put the window down. But this devotee was quite insistent and persistent. And this person actually, the devotee who was the book distributor, he came to know later on, this person was totally disgusted with life. What's new? I mean, the whole material world, especially as it is, people don't have access to knowledge, proper knowledge. So they're confused, they're in anxiety, they're suffering. And it's like, okay, this is too much. So this person had decided, he put on the engine, and he decided to commit suicide. The smoke in the engine in the car can actually kill you. So he was in that mood and consciousness that this is it. This world is too complicated, and I cannot tolerate this suffering anymore. So, and then somehow or other, the devotee managed to slide a book in the car. He looked. One of the windows was open a little bit. He just put a book in there. So after some time, this person who's in that mood of this is it, I want to put an end to my life. He said, "Okay, let me have a look at this book." Nothing to do, So he opened the book, and my God, he started to read. I forget any of the books. Here Prabhupada mentions also whether it's the Bhagavatam, any of the
The Vedic literatures, they have that potency. Because actually most books, I mean not most, practically speaking, all the books that are out there in the world that make up all the different libraries and whatnot, they don't deal with these subject matters. They deal with science fiction, it's history, this and that, it's all based on people's mental speculation. They don't go to the heart. They don't go to the heart, you know. Even the best, they have what they call bestsellers, right? You can read a bestseller 3-4 times, you know, but after 4 or 5 times, you know, it's no longer a bestseller for you. You throw it away. But these books, like, you know, we read them every day. These are what they call perennial. What is the meaning of perennial? If you know gardening, perennial flower.
Evergreen.
Evergreen, yeah. You don't have to plant them every year. They come out every year. We have a few perennials here. We're trying to get more because it's easier to you don't have to plant all the time. So these are perennial, this is perennial knowledge, you know. It's like we just have to give what Prabhupada would term as oral reception. We just have to open our ears, you know, and take in this knowledge which actually goes to the heart, which is that's the next yeah, what is it? The change of heart. Change of heart. These books are meant to change people's heart. If you want to know about real heart transplant, this is it. This is a real heart transplant. So, and many people actually, maybe especially life members, very often they get the whole set, you know, and they put it on the altar, I mean, on their bookshelf. It's like, you know, but they don't open it. I mean, many of them. Because the books are very nice. You know, they look at the pictures maybe, a little bit. But unless one takes the time on a daily basis to read, then one will come to know what actually is in these books. We are meant to mold our lives on what is in these books, and all of the problems in the world can be solved simply by. That's why Prabhupada had told that every day before the politicians go to parliament, they should attend Bhagavatam class. Then their deliberations will be successful, you know. They'll know how or what to speak. They'll know the solution to the different problems that are there. Otherwise, if they don't know Bhagavatam, they simply further complicate the lives of people. That's unfortunately what is taking place. So that's why Rajarshi, the natural leaders that are meant to be there, they have to be Rishi. They have to be transcendentalists, like Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj was perfect devotee, self-realized personality. Yes. Some comments or questions?
Question.
Where's our? Eh? Oh yeah, right. Yeah, you're in charge. You forgot to give him the basics, how to open this thing.
Turned on?
Is it turned on?
Yes.
Automatically, huh? Okay. You're live.
Yeah. Okay, but how can we understand that the usage of this word, Nitya Bada,
Yeah. And Nitya Mukta.
Nitya Mukta. How Nitya Bada become Nitya Mukta? Or you say Nitya, it's eternal. So in the definition of this word of eternal, how eternal, Bada,
How to turn the eternal from, I mean, how to make the eternal to non-eternal.
yeah, logically, how can we?
Yes.
How can we explain that?
Yes. So the understanding is, yes, those who are conditioned by the modes of material nature, these modes of material nature are so powerful that when we come under the influence of these modes of material nature, we remain under their influence for a long time. Such a long time that it is considered as eternal, but actually it's not eternal.
Okay.
It's like it takes on the quality of being eternal, but it is not eternal because our our very nature is to be nityamukta, is to be having the qualities of Satchitananda, like Krishna in quality. So therefore the first canto, the Srimad Bhagavatam, we were reading that, we just finished the first canto, second chapter especially, dealing with divinity and divine service. In that chapter especially, there's a whole series of very powerful verses that describe the process by which we go from being Baddha Jeev to liberated, isn't it? From Nitya Baddha to Nitya Mukta. And that is described actually, those who take up that process, they, beginning with what is called sadhana, beginning of course with hearing, Srimvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtana, Rijantastoya Badrani Vidunoti Suritsatam. All the abadras, all the dirty things, all of the unwanted things in the heart, which are actually connected with these modes of material nature, will be washed away. So, so that's how we need to understand. It's like sometimes people are diagnosed as terminal. He has terminal cancer, isn't it? There was one person, I'll tell you a nice story, true story. Prabhupada gave Babaji dress. He gave Babaji initiation to only one person, to only one of his disciples. And the story is like this, that one devotee, one of Prabhupada's disciples, he went to see the doctor one fine day. Be careful when you go and see the doctor. And, and he came out of the office, the doctor told him, you have terminal cancer. People very often, they don't know, you know, they have some kind of disease. So terminal means very soon it will come to an end. You're going to die in 2 weeks or 2 months, whatever. So he thought, my God, I got terminal cancer. I should go to Vrindavan, right? The best place in the world to concentrate and to focus and to become Krishna conscious is, it's in there in the nectar devotion on the banks of Radhakund. Let me go to Radhakund, let me take Babaji. So he went to Prabhupada and he explained his situation, and somehow Prabhupada said, okay, you know, swaha. So he went to Vrindavan, went on the banks of the Ganga, started to concentrate and chanted, 64 rounds and more. Chanting. After a couple of months, he was still chanting. So he decided to again go see the doctor. And the doctor told him, he says, that was a wrong diagnosis. You don't have terminal cancer. Wow! So he left Vrindavan and went back to America. So he wasn't. So here's somebody who was terminal, but he stopped being terminal. So we are, we are nitya baddha, but actually when we come in contact with Bhagavatam, with bhakti, with the process, then we can change our condition. Yeah. Yes. You can hold it here. It's a good mic. It's not like most mics you have to put in your mouth practically.
Yeah. We're just discussing about Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam should be in each school level education.
Yeah, books of knowledge.
Books of knowledge. And maybe it is a part of their syllabus.
Yes, should be.
So if you'll see the scenario which is currently in our day-to-day life,
Yes.
like who are parents, they're not at all knowledgeable on this.
Yes.
So they cannot give any knowledge to any of their
Correct. Yes.
son or daughter.
Yes.
And they're just focusing to send them in any school,
Yes.
any board, English or any local language.
Yes.
And they're getting, the main motto is to get knowledge for earning or a job.
Yeah, to get a degree, and then I can get a good job. And yes.
So if they are focusing only this and they don't have the knowledge,
Yes.
then finally the output is coming now. The situation we are saying after this job, someone is going abroad or some other country.
Yes.
They are not obeying their parents. All these are, in the society.
That is the present modern day scenario, correct? Yes.
The thing is how it is going to be changed in that level of parents.
How it will be changed on the level of parents.
Yeah.
Parents, yes.
So that they can put...
Yes. Every parent needs to have a set of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah, but
And they need someone who will help them to open the page and read on a daily basis.
yeah, it is... We are just thinking like this, but actually in practical life they are not thinking to read or they don't want to come into this sport.
So that's why we have to, actually many people who are coming in contact with devotees and many people who are receiving these books by the good association of devotees, they are reading these books, they are changing their lives. Some, it's everyone's choice, some are not, but many people who receive, especially if they give money for a book, they will at some point, they will be reading this book. So it's a question of offering them the association of Prabhupada's books, the association of devotees, and for some people it will take a longer time to actually change their habits and change their lives, and therefore a longer time to benefit their children for whom they are responsible. But the more we do these activities, which is what we are, what Srila Prabhupada set up, this whole society, by establishing temples, by so many different ways, then gradually more and more people are actually taking up to the process. Some will be taking longer time. We cannot force, isn't it? It is, we have the individual choice, but we can try to impress upon people as much as possible. We have festivals, we bring people to, for some people, it's easier if they attend some cultural program, different ways in which people, you give, introduce, like in the Western countries and universities, most universities, they don't allow that we start a Hare Krishna club. But if you start a cooking club, if you start giving classes on cooking, vegetarian cooking, that's how we started, in many places. We in like a needle and out like a plow, isn't it? The expression, yeah.
We do a lot of book tables, though.
Book tables?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just set it up on the campus.
Right.
In Gujarat, this is obligatory. In Gujarat,
Yes. It's obligatory for
teaching Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, in Gujarat now they've introduced Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita. Right. Yeah. Yes. Becomes standard.
And
Yes.
then, sorry.
Yes. Unless you have
Uttarakhand is a subject of doing the same. So they started this process in Uttarakhand.
Okay.
Also this
Uttarakhand.
this Bhagavad Gita program that the devotees are doing
Yes.
every year,
Yes.
that is also, they go to the schools
Yes.
and then they have this competition. They work with the teachers. Hey, you have Bhagavad Gita 1 month to prepare, and
Yeah.
they will have quiz, and they have prizes. And
Yes,
that's so
yes.
popular in India. Like, it's really tremendously popular. Devotees are going all over the places.
Actually, our devotee who came here is coming back to you now. We stole it from him. Dattatreya Prabhu, the Ayurvedic doctor, he just finished. He might have mentioned to some of the devotees to who were taking the course. He organized he set up a whole society. He called it by some name like that, and he convinced the government. He got funds from the government to introduce, because on the basis of fighting drugs, eliminating drugs amongst young people on that basis. And he very, very tactfully, very intelligently presented, I have a copy of a manual. He printed like 100,000 copies.
5 lakhs.
Huh? 5 lakhs.
5 lakhs.
5 lakhs, huh? Okay, there you go. Right, 5 lakhs. 500,000. And he was sending me, he took recordings and whatnot, and he had everyone chanting Hare Krishna, And I'll later on, Zaidev, you can get a copy on where I sit on the right side. Actually, there's about 20 copies in English. You can distribute to all the devotees. He very intelligently introduced the basic concepts without, and he got the stamp of approval. So yeah, there are so many different ways devotees can be introducing the basic knowledge and concepts. Yes. You now have the mic.
It's part of my. I want to.
But don't keep
tell
it.
us. How can some advice about how to introduce Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita
Yes.
in the universities
Yes.
as a part of the educational process.
Yes.
Not only preaching, but part of education.
Yes.
process.
Your curriculum. Yes.
Curriculum.
Yes. You have to find at least one professor, someone who will be, generally there are some departments like Department of History or Department of Religion or Department of Sociology. Isn't it different faculties? They will be Department of Philosophy, because Bhagavatam deals with all of these things in a very ideal way. And so you have to find at least one person who will be, let's say, supporting or favorable, and gradually that can be, that's what actually, whenever someone is a devotee and connected with an educational institution, he makes friendship with some of the other teachers, and then slowly, gradually introduces them like that. It has to be a gradual type of way to at least have some of those teachers or professors become favorable, and then in due course of time they can introduce it in a systematic way. You can mic the mic there. Haribol. Actually, the mic should always go back to the person who's going to distribute it behind you. Yeah.
So there is a very successful case study of a university which has a course on Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
BITS Pilani
Uh-huh.
in Rajasthan. So it started as some devotee going and conducting classes off hours, not very openly
Right.
in a way, and then some students started liking, the word spread around. At some point, there was a favorable professor who allowed it, and then they started doing it openly, and slowly it became a optional credit course. You can take that course and you can get credits for it.
Yes.
To the extent that it became so popular that like the freshers, the juniors, when they come in, they talk to the seniors, they recommend that, no matter what you do, make sure you take this course.
Right. And then eventually it becomes like mandatory.
You're getting there, but as of now they can take the course officially and get credits for it.
Correct. Yeah, well, that's a big achievement in itself. Yeah. Krishna, the Dami Buddhi Yogam Tam. Krishna gives the intelligence to those who are actually endeavoring and wanting to spread his mission and his message, isn't it? Yeah.
Way over time.
No. Yeah, wait. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Jai Sri Prabhupada ki. Gaur Pimarande.
Holiness Bhattacharya Swami Maharaj.
This.